Hello, everyone. It's Ann Duffy, and welcome to Dental Entrepreneur, the Future of Dentistry podcast. I'm so happy you're with me today. I'm honored to have this guest with me, and let me tell you a little bit about him before we get started. As an incoming president of the Chicago Dental Society, Dr. Philip Schefke, clinical assistant, is a professor at Midwestern University College of Dental Medicine in Downers Grove in Illinois, in the United States, and is leading preparations for a refreshed Chicago Dental Society Midwinter Meeting, the 2026 event to be held from February 19th through the 21st at McCormick Place in Chicago. And I will be there. Dr. Schefke, welcome.
Thank you, Ann. It's great to be here, and we really appreciate the opportunity to talk. We are very, very proud of our Midwinter Meeting and the progress that we're making year after year. So we'd love to chat about that.
I love that you pivot. And I just shout out to whoever is doing your website, because I looked at it before we got on. And boy, that is a sharp website. It's very enticing and it's very modern. And I can see that you're really putting a lot of effort and money into that, which is huge for the conference.
Yes. Every year when the meeting is over, we do a survey and we ask many hundreds of people. And that was one of our concerns, was that it was not navigable before. And so we have put money and time into this to make it better for the attendees, for the speakers, and for the organization itself. And so if you go on that, it's cds.org/MWM. And you'll see for yourself, it's really just a fine product. And again, we're very proud of it.
Well, I am excited. I think Chicago Midwinter, in my mind, now I've been in dentistry for only, 50 years, I guess, but it is like the crown jewel of the conferences. I've worked with a lot of speakers and influencers, and that is the cherry on the cake, if you will, to get that opportunity to speak at Chicago Midwinter. And from that, you have spawned so many careers in speaking because you look for the best. Everybody knows that you can find a good speaker scouting at Chicago Midwinter.
I'll add other meetings. Obviously there's several other large meetings. If you gauge it by the number of scouts who show up to your meeting, on a regular basis, we'll have 140 scouts coming to our meeting. Everybody knows that we put the effort in to find the finest people from across the country and across the globe to come and chat with our attendees.
Yes, I believe that. I really feel like that's the starting point, and you do your homework. If you've spoken at Chicago Midwinter, that's pretty much good enough for any other meeting out there to be able to scout that person, and which is very generous. There's no scarcity mentality there. It's not like they have to have all the best here. You can't have them. You were so generous with opening your doors to the scouts and to people that are putting on their own meetings.
And you'll see this year, Dr. Bill Simon was my helper. He's also on the lecture circuit as well, but he helped me for years putting together this program, and he has hit a grand slam. There are over 140 lecturers. There are 250 combination of lectures, workshops, and panels. And if you can't find something that interests you, you're just not looking, because we have taken care of not just the doctor and the specialist, but we're also looking for hygienists to have a fantastic meeting, and also for the assistants, office managers. We have tried to make the meeting special for everyone.
That rings true for me because, we were talking earlier, like I started Dental Entrepreneur Woman, and it's for every career path, because every career path in dentistry makes the professions so much greater. And everyone's important in that wheel, right?
Right. So I'll just give you, I know as a hygienist, you might like this. I'll give you a quick list we have Karen Davis will be there, Marissa Gora, Katrina Sanders, Amanda Hill, Laura Hooper, and that's just a sampling of some of the hygienists that will be having lecture. And we're looking forward to a great show for the hygienists. And if I could plug Saturday lunchtime, we have a luncheon set aside just for the hygienists on the exhibit floor. And it's a time for them to get together, collaborate, and just relax in the company of other hygienists.
That's a great idea. I actually will be there, and I'm going to definitely attend that opportunity because I think sometimes we don't realize it has been growing, the importance of your team. And I see that when I was looking at what you've got going on as far as content, it is very focused on team building and giving a little bit to everybody because, again, you're shining a light on the importance of those opportunities. So thank you for doing that. That is fantastic.
Yes, and very pleased.
And as we were talking earlier, women are typically in the dental hygiene role, but more and more women are graduating dentists, which is great to be able to work with a team and see that that opportunity is growing for everyone. I love that you're putting the content where it really is important. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, my full-time job is an educator. And yes, we do have over 60% of our classes now are women. So
yeah, that's incredible. Tell me a little bit about your background, because I think it's very cool that you're full-time in academia. We need people like you in academia, and I'm very impressed with that. You had a great career clinically, but tell me about how that came about for you becoming the president of the CDS and this
sure.
appointment.
I graduated about 38 years ago in the late 80s, and I did start my practice from scratch. And I realized that I needed to get out and to be with the community of dentists. So in Chicago, we're very blessed to have 9 different branches, and you go to the one that meets your requirements for close to where you live or close to where your practice was. And so I became a member of what's called the South Suburban branch. And every month we get together, we have CE and we have camaraderie. And I learned more from the hour before the meeting and the time spent afterwards when we would chit chat for maybe an hour or two after the meeting. I learned about what it's like to be a dentist, what needs to be done, how it can be managed. And there were some fantastic leaders in that group, and I wanted to be like them. And so I kept showing up. And as I kept showing up, they said, well, you need to be a dinner chairman. And then years later, you become the president. And then after that, there's always a stepping stone. And people had trust in me. And I said, if you have trust in me, I will do it. And every turn I went, another blessing came. It was just opportunity after opportunity to do better and to be better in the society and in the nation. You know, I was on ADA councils, the ISDS, the state. I was a trustee with them. And you learn, you expand your collegial footprint. And I can't tell you how rewarding it is to walk through the Midwinter and every 10 feet, someone stops you to say hello, and you can hug each other and you can reminisce. And it's like you just catch up like you saw them yesterday, and you can't replace that feeling. And I try to tell my students that if you don't do this, you are going to miss a big part of your career that could certainly do that. And I know now everyone thinks they can get everything online and you can accomplish that. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like a person face-to-face working towards a common goal. It's so satisfying.
I totally agree with you. I love that so much. If you want a great career in dentistry, you've got to show up. A couple of things you said. You said yes, you showed up, you dipped in. And it reminds me a lot of the Hymn. I love the Hymn because it's in my neck of the woods. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've seen the careers be so that they love dentistry because you're right. It's the belly to belly. They say that in the chair. You got to be belly to belly, right? But the same thing is true. Just communication and the networking. That's where the magic happens, right? And you have to be present. You can't just do it on a screen. Some of that is good, but there's nothing like this. You're giving this opportunity to them with on a silver platter. Come and join us, right?
Right. I'm going to try to go over a couple of the things that the CDS has done. So we talked about the hygienist opportunity. I believe it's on Friday. We have a Wisconsin breakfast because Wisconsin no longer has a meeting. They're right across the border. We're like, let's have a breakfast for just you. And then that's it. For years, we've been providing a Wisconsin breakfast. We have a happy hour on Friday afternoon on the exhibit floor, which has been very popular. We have a student dentist gathering on Friday afternoon. Historically, we get between 500 and 600 students from across the country at our reception. We have the hygienist luncheon. We have this year an international lounge. You may not know this, but we have often about 65 to 70 countries represented at the Midwinter. And so this year, we're going to give them their own lounge where they can recharge and refresh and charge their phones. And also the early career dentist. We used to have a reception for them, but we've decided to give them their own lounge on the exhibit floor. And so they'll be able to connect with their peers and have a refresh and recharge opportunity. And we want this to be a destination. We want them to say, I can't wait till next year. And a lot of people say that, but we're putting things in place that people want, people request. If you've ever been there, if you're a Starbucks, you know, there's always a line for the coffee.
Yeah.
Well, we addressed that. We now are going to have kiosks on the exhibit floor for refreshments, coffee, grab and go. So we don't have to be away from the floor as much as we in the past had to have. So
Yeah.
we've listened and we're doing things that are very, very positive.
You just named so many things that like I'm excited about to come because I've been in that line before. And that's really cool that you're pivoting and you've listened and you put an answer in there because that's what you want. That's what a host does.
Yes.
Honestly, Dr. Schefke, it's that you are being gracious host. One of the things I like to tell people when they come, be a host yourself.
Yes.
Host your friends, invite your friends. And if somebody's thinking about this, I can't think of a better opportunity for a young dentist or even somebody that, burnout is a big word now.
Oh, sure.
But get there and feel the buzz because there's so much buzz on the exhibitor floor, so much buzz after you just learn something new. And dentistry is changing so much. And your speaker lineup is bringing all that information in one spot.
It'll shake off the doldrums of perhaps your career, and you'll see that there can be excitement on a daily basis. We've tried to make everything so easy for people. In fact, I know parking is always a problem at McCormick Place. And if you don't get there early, it's a fiasco. But if you'd rather take a train, we have free bus shuttles from Union Station or the Ogilvy Station, and they'll bring you right to McCormick Place. And that bus will take you right back to the train station at no charge. And that's good for your staff as well and make it an event,
The other thing that I love about Chicago Midwinter is, and if you're a dentist and listening to this, bring your team. I think that is so valuable to have that team time around dentistry and around the excitement of dentistry. Because when you get back on Monday morning, that's when you're going to have the implementation, is if you bring your team and everybody's on board versus just having the dentist come back and say, this is what we're going to do.
So the dentist may come back energized for change, but then the staff has no investment. But if everybody goes, they will help carry that office further than they would ever imagine. And so without the staff being with you, it's a huge detriment for sure.
Oh, yes. And especially some of the speakers that you just named. And then when I was looking at the list, they're going to get you fired up for dentistry. And people are still recovering from the pandemic. Let's just be frank about that. And this is a great opportunity to get excited about dentistry. It's such a great profession. And we certainly want all the people that are in dentistry right now to be energized about it because the future is so bright. What else of technology? Is that a big deal this year for you, I'm sure?
Oh, obviously, everything is churning on the floor. We have 40 or 45 new exhibitors because obviously old things are disappearing and the new technology is ramping up. And it really is amazing. We have a more expansive floor this year. Like I said, we've got different stations and kiosks throughout, resting stations. We're going to have Illinois Masonic Hospital. They're going to have their mobile van on the exhibit floor so you can see what they do from our communities throughout Chicago. We have a new reimagined CDS store where we do the customary headshots for everybody, but we also will have some swag available. We have a CDS Foundation that will be represented. And by the way, the CDS Foundation manages a free clinic in one of the suburbs of Chicago. And I might say that's the only dental society in the country which manages a free clinic for the community.
Wow.
And we're very proud of the Chicago Dental Society Foundation. They do wonderful work throughout the community.
That's so beautiful.
We have a mascot. Have you ever seen the mascot wandering around?
I have seen the mascot, so tell us about it.
His name is Hadley. Hadley was the name of our very first president in 1865, mind you.
Oh my gosh.
We've been doing this for a long time. But Hadley, our mascot, we are going to have a puppy pound petting station on the exhibit floor. So when you get a little tired and you need a pick-me-up, you can go play with these puppies. I've seen it at other meetings, and I'm telling you, they draw a crowd. Who doesn't love puppies, right?
Who doesn't love puppies? I know.
That's going to be something that we have also on the floor.
How fun. I think you've addressed just about anything. Anything else that you're excited?
And we're not done.
Keep going.
In Chicago, we have a great meeting. We're very serious about continuing education, but we also like to have fun. And so on Thursday afternoon, we have a keynote speaker. His name is Chris Chelios. Unfortunately, a lot of the students don't know who that is, but he played for the Chicago Blackhawks and for the Detroit Red Wings. He's a Chicago native, and he's going to talk to us about his career in hockey, and he's going to stick around for an autograph session afterwards. We're looking forward to that. We have a DJ event on Friday night after the lectures are completed. Right there attached to McCormick Place, we have a ballroom. We're going to have Beats and Bites where food, beverage, and a DJ. And last year it was phenomenally successful. And of course, we end it with a very formal dinner dance on Saturday, open to everyone. And it's a great time on Saturday evening. So combining all of those opportunities, it is a cannot miss. And I might mention that if you are a Chicago Dental Society member, registration is free. Unlike some meetings, as a member, it's a free registration. And on top of that, someone who might be in, say, North Carolina, if you want to be a member, there's an associate member category, which I believe at $125 will create a category for you as an associate member, and you get all the benefits of CDS membership. So it is an unbelievable value for anyone who is outside the Chicago boundary. Become an associate member. It couldn't be simpler.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we're having this discussion today, because I've learned a lot about Chicago Midwinter and what you're doing, and how fabulous that somebody from North Carolina, where I live, could come and be an associate and then have all the benefits. That's very gracious, very hospitable. So tell me, how do you register? What's the easiest way? Go to the website. We're going to have all that in the show notes. Dr. Schefke.
CDS.org. There is a link on that, but you can go cds.org/MWM. Takes you right to the website.
Okay. And let me ask you this as a final question. Where do you see the future of dentistry going?
I would hope that it maintains the path of, on the professional side, the collegiality. I'd like to see that. That's very important to me. It always has been a cornerstone of my career to be in a collegial society. But also, I'd like to see the powers that be, the governmental intrusions, the insurance intrusions, kind of wash away, because when it comes down to it, as you know, a doctor-patient or a hygienist-patient relationship is a very intimate relationship, and it cannot be governed by rules, regulations, and restrictions. And so we have to preserve that right for our dentists to do the work that they want to do and how they want to do it. And unfortunately, in the world today, everything has been broken down into, work 12 minutes to do this, 4 minutes to do that. We need to slow down, because we're healthcare professionals and we are taking care of a human being, and we should never, ever lose sight of that.
That is the goal. And I think that the people that show up at Chicago Midwinter will buy into that, and we have bought into that, but we need each other to continue that journey.
Absolutely, 100%. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity that you've given to me, and it's been a pleasure, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you there at the meeting.
I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. And congratulations. I think this is going to be the best Chicago Midwinter ever, and I'll look forward to seeing you. If you're listening to this, everybody, get your ticket. I'll see you. If you see me on the floor, give me a hug. And no matter what, keep doing you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today, and I'll see you in Chicago.